Hello indie game fans, it's a massive week of new releases, but it might not be the best week for roguelite haters since there are quite a number of them. But first, let's begin with the pixel art action platformer Aeruta. This has a management sim element in which you are venturing out to fight monsters and collect ingredients, but are then using these to make bread in your bakery, looking to be similar in concept to something like Cuisinier or Moonlighter, but as a side-scroller, having a fantastic look and hopefully a compelling gameplay loop. I am so very excited to share the news of the early access release of Seablip, an open-world survival crafting title with a pirate theme. It follows in the footsteps of games like Terraria and Stardew Valley in having farming or life sim elements, since you can fish and grow crops on your island, but can also build a ship and go out to adventure on the high seas. There's naval combat which looks strategic, with hopefully enough out there on the open waters for this to be interesting as you build your reputation into one of the most feared pirate captains ever. This is planned to be in early access for about a year, but since it is one of my most anticipated pixel art titles, of course it is of note. This one's for indie game developers. The free indie game marketing resources are ready, so sign up via the link in the description below to get it in your mailbox. Surprise! Some of you might not have heard the news that Dread Delusion is releasing out of early access this week, a first-person open-world RPG that sure has a visual style that makes it stand out. This has done well so far in early access, having some elements of an immersive sim on how you tackle quests and explore areas, with the developers gradually adding content so far in early access, so if you have been waiting, now's the best time to jump in. People have been comparing this to Morrowind in terms of game feel, especially in the exploration of the world, so if that classic is your jam, do give this game a shot. I cannot believe it, but read-only Memories NEURODIVER is releasing this week, a game that is the sequel to 2064 Read-Only Memories from 2015, and shockingly had an initial planned release way back in 2020. 4 years and change later, its release is imminent, with the first game being a cult classic, but I believe this should be okay as a standalone title. You play as a psychic detective, tracking down the antagonist known as the Golden Butterfly, who hides in people's memories. The writing and narrative will be the important parts of this game, and I do love the pixel art look as well, so let's hope that they manage to get things right after all this time. An all-action title is MULLET MADJACK, one that takes inspiration from classic anime in terms of look and tells the terrifying tale of the near future in which humans and the internet have merged into one, but now requires a dopamine hit every 10 seconds. The world is ruled by the ultra-wealthy AI robots known as ROBOBEAT, in which you need to kill them to extend your own life. Obviously, this has cyberpunk dystopian themes as a whole, but the timer does actually force the action and you have to play aggressively, all wrapped up with a fantastic look that just screams awesome. Other games begin with Arcane Assembly, a Metroidvania title, but with the twist that you're using a visual programming language to craft your own spells, so think of this as Noita adjacent, and sure is a weird thing that you will only find in indie games. Indiana Jones Meets Celeste is the elevator pitch for Archaeogem, in which you use your trusty whip as well as double jumps, air dashes, and momentum from moving platforms to get to the next level, and looks kind of awesome, being the hidden gem of the week. A sweet-looking RPG title is Baladins, one that appears to be taking inspiration from tabletop RPGs like Dungeons & Dragons, in which your party of heroes adventure together, having dice rolling and RPG mechanics, as well as co-op support.
Trembling in their boots? Go back and bring me more news! Baladins, bringing us joy wherever they go. Together they have a world to explore. Wait, haven't I told this tale before? Roll the dice, people. Only they can bring an end to this loop in time. With joy and some luck, a feat most sublime. Band together as friends, feed the dragon they must. Restore the peace, a cause most just. Together they sing the Baladins hymn. This is it, their time is now.
The original Braid from 2008 was one of those OG indie games that people always point towards, although sentiment on it seems to have shifted. But if you were always curious and have not played it, the Anniversary Edition might be worth picking up since it includes 15 hours of developer commentary. The year of the survival crafting game continues in Carth, which is set in a medieval fantasy world, with games like this having a funny way of blowing up in popularity. Here's an awesome looking wholesome game named Cozy Caravan, in which you are part of a caravan that moves through the world, stopping at towns to help the locals, and looks awesome, with the, I guess, stop motion kind of look to the animation being quite unique.
Ready to set sail?
I've had my eye on this first-person thriller title since it looks awesome, where Deep Beyond tells the story of our protagonist diving to the bottom of the sea to uncover the mystery of her father's disappearance.
Howard?
weapon fighter in the vein of Bushido Blade releases this week in Die by the Blade, having an impressive looking samurai punk world and looks neat.
Once upon a time, in a strange, faraway land, the heir to a vast kingdom ventured forth, eager to start life anew.
We also have the 1.0 release of Fabledom, a fairy tale city builder that looks and plays awesome, so fans of the genre, this one's for you.
All of stature, but incredibly hard workers. As the village grew, it started gaining the attention of other rulers. One in particular caught the heir's eye, and a courtship began. Trades, missions, and adventure awaited as more neighbors presented themselves, each with their own agenda. The heir had to remain focused, however, because outside the kingdom's borders waited creatures of all sorts, some friendly, and others, well, not. Dangers began lurking in the realm. Fooled by the fabling small demeanor, they did not expect to meet such resistance. Oh, take that! And so the heir's kingdom prospered. Little did they know, however, that... Ooh, goody! My food is here! Let's continue.
Gilded Eternal is a fun little arcade action platformer in which you cannot directly attack, instead having to jump around and lure enemies to their deaths, looking simple but neat.
Just like what you'll find in the real world, except each loss becomes a lesson for your next deployment.
I've never gotten into the Homeworld series since space games are not really my thing, but Homeworld 3 releases this week and is positioned as a bigger game with the $60 price point, but is something of note if you love the classic series.
Secure the objectives.
Target set. We're inbound. Push through. Give our people an opening. Sweep around.
Move complete.
Win as a united fleet.
Hostile eliminated.
Each victory will grant you experience points to unlock artifacts and available starting fleets. New powers mean new paths to victory.
Upgrade complete.
Ships will become stronger, even a little unique.
Threat detected. Let's move.
Fail a mission, and your fleet restarts at square one.
Taking fire. Get us out of here.
Carrier down.
But you can't rely on just one strategy.
Torpedo frigate deploying.
Start the run. Roll in. Let's move.
Threat marked. Targeting to AG.
You see? Just had to change your approach.
Action successful. Power to engine.
The enemy is cunning and will adapt to overwhelm you.
Hold steady. I'm coming around. Direct hit. We will lock. Light them up. Keep them guessing. I'm locked down. Taking fire.
Learn. Adapt.
Good shot.
Leverage all your experience to achieve victory. This is where
Like Carth mentioned above, Kingdom of Fallen: The Last Stand is another medieval fantasy survival crafting title that follows in the footsteps of games like Valheim, with this having a little bit more of a Souls-like influence and has promise. From the developers of Sayonara Wild Hearts comes Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, a mysterious puzzle adventure game with some spooky vibes, but I don't think it's explicitly a horror game and has an interesting look for sure. Another not-so-indie title is Men of War 2, a World War II themed real-time strategy game that is the sequel to a game from 2009 and looks impressive, fitting right in with modern games in 2024. With the popularity of Risk of Rain 2, it was only a matter of time before we get more and more of them, with Never Mourn being a third-person action roguelite with a fantasy theme and could be different enough to be of interest. A roguelite rhythm first-person shooter is ROBOBEAT, in which you need to shoot to the beat, being similar to games like BPM Bullets Per Minute, but with a different kind of theme and setting.
Target location. Working on. Wow, so many choices. It can't be this easy. It wasn't this easy.
Ruindog essentially looks like a third-person Vampire Survivors clone, and with its early release on Monday, has been getting a positive reception so far, so at least it's not another straight-up clone.
Becoming a cat summoner in Spellcats is easy. Just summon some fire cats from those portals and put them to fight other elemental kitties until your team wins.
The fourth roguelite title in a row is Spellcats Auto Card Tactics, a roguelike card game that is more in common with a collectible card game like Magic the Gathering, rather than Slay the Spire, which is a nice change, with a dose of super autopats, since it appears that the cards resolve from left to right.
Deal 1 damage to all enemies when they faint. I'm pretty sure the boss won't stand a chance now. Oh, you got to be kidding me! Wait, that one looks cool. Let's try again with water cats.
Another roguelite title of interest is The Land Beneath Us, coming to us from a developer out of Thailand, so Southeast Asia represent, being a turn-based dungeon crawling RPG that draws on Welsh mythology and looks promising. Love indie games? Sign up to my newsletter to get a weekly dose of what's hot, along with some news and of course, weekly game giveaways, so if interested, link is in the description below. The top 5 begins with the 6th roguelite in a row in Gatekeeper, a top-down title with a slick look and a sci-fi-ish theme, looking kind of like Destiny meets Vampire Survivors meets Risk of Rain, with the prologue demo of this being very well received and is one to watch in early access. Here's something a little bit different in the good old Metroidvania genre named Geno Panic, a game which I believe was delayed from October last year to this week, looking like a decent pixel art entry. You are exploring a space station, a classic Metroidvania location, think Super Metroid or Environmental Station Alpha, as you seek to uncover the secrets of this research facility. Of course, the pixel art is a highlight to me, and while not the most stunning, modern, high-bit pixel art, it is effective for what it is, and looks good, so I think I'll enjoy this title.
Made it back, Striver. What news from Rhymeholm? So, it is as I feared. You must traverse the land of Ire and defeat the servants of the devious deity. We have won the battle, but unfortunately, the war has only just begun.
Here's another more classic genre in MOBEAT The Lords of Ire, a third-person action RPG that is the sequel to the top-down Souls-like MOBEAT The Seven Acolytes from 2020, which went under the radar due to its release in December, with the sequel taking it into full 3D. However, the developers are particular on not wanting to brand itself as a Souls-like, so it might be more action RPG adjacent in terms of game feel, with the classic grimdark world and monstrous enemies, and looks fun. Wanna get weird? Every week, I try to highlight games that you can only find in indie games, being either too weird or too out there for traditional teams, with Athenian Rhapsody being the shining example of that. For lack of a better term, this is an Earthbound or Undertale style RPG, but it isn't just limited to traditional turn-based combat, but rather has mini-games incorporated into it, which appears to be quite unique. There are 16 playable characters which you can recruit, which really does come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and it looks like there could be potentially something entirely wild and unexpected around every corner, which should make this game a joy to explore. It is just so weird that the developer had to explain the title in this trailer, so Athenian for Athens, which is the world of this game, and Rhapsody, which according to Google is an epic poem, but takes the form of a postcard in this game, which is the reward for completing the game, and of course, with different choices and decisions, seeing all the endings will be part of the draw, and looks like one of the most unique games in recent memory. Psych! Just as you thought we were done with roguelites, I do of course have to mention Realm of Ink, a game with a gorgeous Chinese calligraphy-inspired art style, and one that tells more of a meta story of a heroine in a book realizing that she is in one and having to fight against her fate. This is of course very Hades-like in nature, and is perhaps unfortunate timing since Hades 2 just released in early access, but the demo has been well received so far, so here's wishing them all the best. Watch this video for more upcoming action roguelites.